Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be doing a review / demo on the Loops and Threads yarn winder. Yeah, that is the yarn winder that I got. I got it for Christmas. Not exactly the yarn winder itself, but I did get a Michael's gift card, and I used a portion of that to buy the Loops and Threads yarn winder. This is very inexpensive. I think it was only $19.99 when I purchased it. I don't know the exact price. I'll put a link down below for the actual price if you guys are interested in a yarn winder. This one is a manual one. You still have to crank it to wind up yarn, but at least I don't have to wind up yarn by my hands anymore. So that was really exciting. The reason why I'm making this review / demo is because I noticed a lot of other people that have this yarn winder, and I've seen other reviews here on YouTube. They kind of it's misleading because I don't want to say they don't know exactly how to use it, but that's kind of the truth. Because you need like exact tension and precise speed in order to make a perfect yarn cake like this. I made this one yesterday. Was filming this video yesterday, totally failed. But yeah, this is a yarn cake, and this is what you will get when you use a yarn winder. And I still keep it in the box just for storage purposes. That's why I'm making this video, because I noticed some use a toilet paper roll once it's done, the cardboard, so that they can make a perfect yarn cake. You don't need that. You just need, like I said, perfect speed and perfect tension. But the only con that I don't personally like is that if you have a skein of yarn that's a little bit bigger, because usually they have like ones like this and then ones like that. So if you get more yards of yarn, you actually can't wind up the whole thing on this yarn winder. Let me open up and show you. Because I buy different types of sizes of skeins, and sometimes I get the longer ones, or the more yards, and sometimes I roll them up so I can put them in my storage, and I have to actually cut the yarn like midway, and then I have like a bigger and then a smaller one. So this is what it looks like. Sorry, I'm in front of my window. And it comes with this, the main yarn winder, and then an attachment so that you can actually put it through this little hole here and go like that. And then you just twist this, and then tighten it onto your desk or table that you're working on. So as you can see, this is kind of like too close. If you were to use a bigger skein of yarn, you'd actually, like I said, you'd actually have to cut those in half. I don't mind that, because when I connect yarn, I can, the little tiny knots that I have perfectly, just so happen to perfectly hide in itself in the work. So yeah, this is how it looks like. But yeah, that's the only con that I don't like. I did look at another yarn winder before. It was from Bella Coco, and it was a wool yarn winder. And it's like this, more like tilted, and then the base is like flat. That one's more practical. You can use that for any size of skeins of yarn. But I did get this technically for free because I got it as a Christmas gift from the Michael's gift card. So I'm happy with what I got. But maybe in the future I can get the other one and test it out and see the difference. It'll be a huge difference, I'm pretty sure, but yeah. So let's make a yarn cake. Okay, so I'm actually just going to work with what I got here. I don't want to get the table that I usually use when I use the yarn winder, so I'm going to use the edge of my table to connect to the yarn winder. So what you do, can't really see that, but like I said, you just put it through there and then tighten it. Okay, you don't have to tighten it so much, just so that it doesn't wiggle. And I'm going to get some yarn. So the yarn that I winded up yesterday, this yarn, and then this one right here, this is actually a sneak peek. These are the colors that I'm using for the pattern for a blanket that you will guys see next week. So I thought, why not make this video and wind up the yarn, so that way when I make that video it'll be easier to film, because then they'll be in yarn cakes. Whoops. So that's what I usually do. I take off the tag from around the yarn and I go through the middle, just so that it's easy to wind up the yarn. Am I going through the wrong way? I don't think so. There you go. So just find the beginning. Okay, so I found the end of the yarn. And what you're gonna do, there's 2 notches, like so, on the circular disc type. I pick one randomly, and I always make sure that this yarn feeder is always like that, so that'll just make it a lot more easier for you. So what you're gonna do is go like this, make sure the yarn's like that, and then you wrap this around the yarn winder, the yarn feeder twice, and then it'll go through the wire, the metal, and then you just crank it. Now when you wind up the yarn, it has to have like a little bit of speed. So what I like to do, I like to hold the yarn like this in my hand, my left hand, and then I crank it up with my right. And this is the actual speed that you're gonna wanna go while winding up yarn on the loops and thread yarn winder. And I'm sorry if I sound out of breath right now, guys, sorry. And the reason why I like to hold the yarn is that sometimes you will have some knots, so it's easier to hold it in your left hand, giving a little bit of tension, and then you can stop a little bit better to grab those knots. And always keep the exact same speed. Don't ever slow down or go too fast. It won't work. It won't make a perfect yarn cake. Whoops. And then if you ever did that, you just go back and continue. And also what I like to do is keep the yarn, the skein of yarn, right next to you so it's easier, or you could do it by your feet. I've done that too. then there you go. I'm already at the end. So then all you have to do is just pop it off. And then what I like to do, if there's some that are kind of weird on the edge, I'll just kind of hide it. Doesn't really matter. I work from the middle, even with when it's in a yarn cake, because it's just easier. And then with the end, the last strand, I just do this. Find a spot and tuck it underneath, and you got yourself a perfect yarn cake. And as you can see, it was very easy. So you do need that type of speed that you saw, and just the tension when you're holding the yarn. And the skein of yarn, let me get another one. And this size of skein of yarn, it makes a perfect one whole yarn cake without having to cut it. And these are all the colors, you guys, that I'm going to be using for my blanket, my pattern, the new pattern that I'll show you next week. It is very, very Eastery. I did not mean for that to happen, and as you can see, it is a baby blanket. So yeah, you'll see that in the next video. I hope you guys liked this review / quick demo. I feel like it's very more informative than the other ones that I've seen. But yeah. Anyway, please like this video, thumb up this video, and hit that subscribe button so that you get to be informed on my upcoming videos. Okay guys, have a happy Friday. I'll see you next week.